The huckleberry is a close cousin to the blueberry and grows plentifully on shrubs in the Pacific Northwest. If not ripe enough, they can be poisonous to humans, so it's actually not legal to sell them commercially. But if you can't get your hands on any, don't worry, because as Doc Holliday said, I'll be your huckleberry. You tried that? You tried that. Huckleberries. I'm Nick Novak, my pal Shade Hancock.
Howdy.
Nick Geiger.
I will not be your huckleberry, only Novak.
Novak, I was instead of howdy, I was gonna say I'm your huckleberry in like a Val Kilmer voice, but you stole it in the intro. It's one of my favorite quotes of all time.
When I was putting it in there, I was like, well, everyone will know that, right? Like, you don't have to be a
everyone
cinephile.
On the planet has seen Tombstone. Yes, everyone will know that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I do the other one from Tombstone that I do a lot is he's got a line where he's like, I got 2 guns, one for each of you. And like I say that when I bring stuff out to my kids, like, oh, I've got 2 marshmallows, one for each of you. And they have no idea what I'm talking about, but I do it anyway.
He's the whole movie. He spends the entire movie like just fucking sweaty and sick looking. Do you ever wake up in the morning, look in the mirror, and realize you look like Doc Holliday?
I mean, despite how sweaty and pale and sickly he looks, he's still 100 times better looking than me on my best day.
Oh, God. Chad has permanent Doc Holliday disease. He's got permanent Huckleberry syndrome.
Yeah.
All right, Guy, you have a Huckleberry news story, right?
Yeah, so... Too many people are each other's huckleberries. There's running out of people left that aren't your huckleberry now. I did get these huckleberry snacks. I'll say that. We went on a recent vacation to Montana, and it is like they're just fucking huckleberry crazy up there. Everything's huckleberry this and huckleberry there. We get it, guys. You make huckleberry. It's cool. Mm-hmm. So Montana is the place for huckleberries.
And Arby's is the place for Big Montana.
And Wisconsin is the place for DUIs and cardiac arrest. So my sisters, always looking out for us. Thank you, Becky and Jenny, sent us a news article they thought we might find interesting. So guys, you've heard of the Nobel Peace Prizes, right? Or the Nobel Prizes for Science. No, they just sent this to us. Jesus
God damn it.
You thought I found this? The
mailbag's gone empty for weeks.
So... The Nobel Prize is very prestigious, but there's also something called the Ig Nobel Prize that is in no way affiliated with the regular Nobel Prize. However, these awards aim to honor the unusual, honor the imaginative, and spur people's interest in science, medicine, and technology by making people laugh, then think. So they had a couple different studies that they gave awards out for. Here's some sample studies.
I prefer the OG Nobel Prize.
Yeah, Novak, like, they took a class and they fucked it up. So some of the things they were handed out recently at the Ig Nobel Prize Awards was a study that proved there isn't an equal probability that a coin will land on heads or tails, that some real plants somehow imitate the shapes of neighboring fake plastic plants. This one's super confusing, that fake medicine which causes painful side effects can be more effective than fake medicine without side effects. Still fake, though. And that many people famous for reaching
because of placebo effect, right? Like people, if they get the side effects, they're like, "Oh, this medicine's definitely working," and then the placebo effect kicks in. That's probably it.
One of the studies is also, I thought, humorous. Was many of the people famous for reaching lofty old ages lived in places that had bad record keeping. So basically, it's saying like, no, they weren't that old. They just didn't keep records very well. However, the main event of this one was that 2 scientists from a Japanese research team led by Ryo Okabe and Takanori Takebi, don't know why I felt necessary to say their names, discovered that mammals can breathe through their anuses. They say in their paper that this potentially offers an alternative way of getting oxygen into critically ill patients if ventilator and artificial lung supplies run low, like they did during the COVID-19 pandemic. So everyone, we're going through another wave of COVID right now. Hospitals, respirators might be all booked up. Just pump a little sweet, sweet oxygen straight up your back door. What do you guys
That's
think?
never been discovered. Like that oxygen up your butt would be helpful.
Are you acting like you knew this? Is that?
I figured that's something that would have been understood about the human body if it were possible.
I'm pretty sure, Geiger, that you knew this already, because isn't that why you were goat-seeing people when you were doing CPR?
Yes. Yeah, I was. Yep. I had someone else pump their chest and then they go blow, and I'd go see them and blow into their butts, and then go woo and wake up.
So someone was dying.
Uh-huh.
And they needed CPR, and you spread your cheeks and put your asshole in their face.
No, I blew oxygen. No, you're right, because I'd be blowing CO2 up their ass.
No, I think it was ass to ass.
Oh, ass to ass oxygen transfer.
Oh, you want ass to ass? Okay.
That has some scientific
yeah.
Yeah.
He's dying. Turn him over.
Why? Don't worry about it. Why are you taking your pants off? I'm trying to save this fucking man's life.
I need to go goatsy to goatsy.
I think there's a higher chance of people will know what Huckleberry is than goatsy.
That seems like a bad idea. Well, a certain man named Ig Nobel would disagree. So move out of the way.
There's a bunch of weird ones in here. Oh, they gave out a posthumous award, which was totally necessary, to two scientists, William Peterson and Fortis Eli. They were awarded the biology prize for exploding a paper bag next to a cat that's standing on the back of a cow to explore the reasons for cows spewing their milk. What the fuck that has to do with anything? I don't know how you get from A to B on that one. I wonder why a cow spews its milk. Take that cat and put it on the cow's behind, and I'm going to blow this bag up and see what happens.
Dr. Cletus Tennyson of Oklahoma.
That just sounds like good, clean fun there.
Professor Whiskers said he didn't like the experiment very much. So do you think, like if you, let's say it's a life-threatening emergency, would you ask someone to please pump air directly into your spigot in the back door there? Would you do that?
Ask them?
Yeah, like, come on. I can't breathe through my face. I need you to pump. Sign language. Write it down. I don't know. Somebody.
Sign language. What's the sign language for shove air up my spigot? What is that?
I wish I had learned sign language for goatsy.
SP.
What's he want? A spider? I don't know. Just shove air up his ass, and we can ask him later.
If
that's an embarrassing way to
save
die.
my life, whatever.
That's just an embarrassing way, because if it doesn't work, then you're left there with this big old oxygen pump hanging out your poop hole, and you just look like an asshole.
I mean, I'm not gonna care.
You look like an asshole.
Looking down from heaven or whatever, like, look how these fuckers left my body with an air tag or an airbag hanging out of my ass.
An air tag.
And St. Peter's just laughing at you at the gates.
Yeah. Oh, that's the guy who died with air shoved up his butt.
I think I'd do it.
Okay.
If I had, this reminds me of we're just talking about recently again. How many people? We talked about this once before. I imagined I was hit by a car laying on the side. It made me think of how many people agreed to let a speeding Michael Jordan away after running them over, so that he could go on to win 6 titles for the Bulls. We had this discussion again recently, and more people who had never heard it agreed to let Jordan hit them with his fucking car.
What the fuck is wrong with
and
people?
Get away scot-free.
Oh, God. I can't
so
wait
that he could go on to win. The full scenario is: would you let Jordan hit you with a car when he's young, before he's won the 6 titles for the Bulls?
He hit you anyway. Would you turn him in?
Would you turn him in?
Would you turn Jordan in? Yeah.
And prevent him from winning the 6 Bulls titles?
Correct. Yeah. Assuming he just goes straight.
Insane that people would not turn him in.
Right.
I can't wait to wave my Bulls pennant with the one functioning hand I have after my quadriplegia kicks in.
Okay, but now Novak, you're a bigger baseball fan, so what if it was like
Anthony Rizzo or something?
Yeah, right. Like, what if it was the Cubs here, the one Cubs World Series in 140 years or whatever the fuck it is now, right?
Remember my spigot. He drives away. No,
Yeah.
I'm turning anyone in that fucking plows me with their Mercedes.
I did get run over by Aaron Rodgers one time, but thankfully it was on the metaphysical plane. We were both deep in an ayahuasca binge and a darkness retreat. And he just shoved air straight up my asshole for 2 hours and then he left. I don't know what he
Whoa.
got out of it, but he went on to win a few more games.
What'd you get out of it? You survived?
More oxygen than I knew what to do with.
Have you guys ever had been to like an oxygen bar? Like
What?
they used to have them at the mall.
Yeah.
Like sometimes
I know what you're
or
talking
now
about,
that-
but no.
Now they have like spray cans that you could just like put it straight to your mouth and just get like pure oxygen in there. I'm pretty sure it's a scam.
Is it nice?
think
Do
so,
you
too.
like it? Have you done it, Novak, or no?
No, I
Oh.
never did it. I was curious, but I guess it's supposed to like. And now they have it in the can. It's supposed to like help your recovery quicker, but it didn't. I didn't see if it was just for like oral use only.
Now they have it in the can. They got a can of air you could suck on. Or you could put it in the old backdoor spigot. Yeah, I think that's kind of a scam. I'm with Chad. I think that's like the whole like juice cleanse and well, I guess that's real, but
Is it?
some of that stuff makes you
This
shit.
whole like eating fruits and vegetables.
Big government's been
Exercising.
on our case for that a long time.
This whole fucking
Drinking.
scam of not watching TV and playing video games all day long.
right.
Like, it's just a scam.
Have you guys heard about this latest one where they're telling you to drink water and walk? Like they want you to walk.
Mhm.
Motherfuckers want me to walk. Go fuck yourself. I'm lay here in the dirt. Drink a Coke.
Supposed to put vitamins up my ass now, I guess. All right, let's eat some snacks.
No,
Three
I don't think
Huckleberry
we've covered
snacks.
this topic enough. Back to the
Rate it on a
spigot.
5-point scale. Love that. Like that. Different of that. Dislike
Uh-huh.
that. Hate that.
What else would you put up your ass?
This Huckleberry lollipop is something could go up your ass, and we will try it first.
Ooh,
Bear.
yours would really hurt going in. You've got a
It's supposed to be a
homunculus thing.
bear. You guys both have very pleasant-looking, smooth bears, and mine looks like the Toxic Avenger.
How did that happen?
Oh, I mistook that one for oxygen.
Yeah, it does look like oxygen.
I thought it was pure
It actually
oxygen.
does. Like, when you see like the molecules with like the atoms and
Mhm.
stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, it kind of looks like that.
Oh, yeah. 8 protons. 8 electrons. Okay, it's a purple lollipop, bear-shaped, and I knew nothing about huckleberries
Mhm.
before you sent us these snacks. I couldn't have told you. I don't think I've had like a pure huckleberry in my life at any point.
Not really telling what about. I don't know if this is really helping me tell what a huckleberry tastes like. It's just generic sweetness.
No.
Yeah.
All right, Geiger. I know it's a short time with a lollipop here, but what do you
Yeah.
think?
So these lollipops were just next to the cash register when I was checking out, and I grabbed 3. I'm like, oh, they look like bears. Or at least 2 of them do, and one looks like herpes. I don't know. This is fine. I mean, it's a sucker. It's a little bit of a big shape, so it's kind of and it's got like a lot of bumps and stuff and ridges and shit. So it's kind of not the most comfortable thing to wedge into your hold in your mouth. It doesn't have a real. I expected it to taste almost like tart or sharp or something like that, but I guess I don't know what a huckleberry tastes like. But this just tastes like sugar. Like there's no fruit flavor that I could discern. This is about as indifferent a snack as I can possibly conceive of. I will say the craftsmanship on mine, at least, looks like a very nicely made handsome bear with a honey pot. So,
Chad?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the flavor is bad. Like, it's kind of like a pleasant flavor. Like if this was like a little Dum Dums or whatever, those little lollies, and you gave one to me, I'd be like, all right, yeah, it's fine. I'd probably finish it off. As it is, it's like a little too big of a lolly, like with that whole bear shape. As Geiger mentioned, it's a little uncomfortable in your mouth, but I think it's fine. I wanted to give it a like that, but I just want something a little extra from the flavor. The flavor is just not quite there for me on this lolly, so I will give it an indifferent to that.
Yeah, you guys pretty much said what needed to be said. And about this bear.
The air you put in your bodies.
What Michael Jordan did to your body.
The titles are still real to me, damn it.
Mine also, I mean, it's hurt by looking like shit. I really get the short end of the stick here. But even so, it's just a very much an indifferent to Dat. It's like if I didn't know what the flavor was ahead of time, I would just say like generic berry and like a very weak version at that. So 3 indifference, lazy electioneer. Let's next go to the saltwater taffy. The huckleberry flavored saltwater taffy. They are completely purple. Do you guys like saltwater taffy in general?
It's fine.
I do. We tend to get it.
This seems like the kind of throwaway candy that you would like. Like you always I always think of you liking those fucking terrible peanut butter things at Halloween. This is like a fruit version of that.
Were you over the other day? Weren't you over when my wife brought home like
Yes,
10 pounds of saltwater taffy?
Yep. An industrial strength size bag of saltwater taffy.
All one flavor.
Is it good?
It is good. It's creamsicle flavor.
Well, this is more tart.
All right, Chad, you're up first. What say you of this saltwater taffy?
I don't know about this one, because at first I was like very unhappy with how sticky it was and stuff. And then the flavor from the tartness came in, and I kind of thought about spitting it out, actually. But, I stuck with it, being the brave, incredibly brave person that I am. I continue to chew the candy. Yes, I know. Oh, thank you. No, you don't need to applaud my bravery, but please do.
You're the IG Braveheart.
I kind of liked it in the end. Like, like the flavor there is all right, actually. I like that tartness. It definitely is a more unique flavor than that fucking bearsicle. So I think
that fucking bearsicle you said tasted pretty good. You're getting all fucking mad at it now.
I think I will squeak this into just barely into a like that. I think it's all right.
See, kids, follow your dreams.
Well, I didn't go on quite the fantastical adventure that Chad seemed to with range of emotions over a
real roller coaster. Yeah.
I do like saltwater taffy as a snack. I think I always like the texture of it. I think it can be tasty and lots of different interesting flavors. This particular flavor is pretty good. I think it's got a nice... I don't know if it has a nice huckleberry flavor because I don't know what the fuck a huckleberry tastes like. But it does have a nice like berry flavor.
Tastes like licking sweaty Val Kilmer, I think is what it tastes like.
Right. I'm going to give this a second like that. I think it is tasty. Geiger, what do you think?
When I first bit into it, I spiraled into a deep depression.
Wow, you went on a ride too, huh?
I said, what is the nature of sustenance? And then I rode a euphoric wave back to the
middle. You got all
middle.
red and sweaty faced.
Yeah.
And it was set in the middle.
Yeah, I got like a fever. I got the huckleberry fever.
Wait, what does he have in that movie?
Tuberculosis.
Okay.
Not COVID-19.
You had that.
That's
right?
the remake. Yeah.
He's got disco fever. That's what he has.
Disco fever. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Common malady. I think the flavor of this is good. I mean, Chad, I understand your aversion to having things stuck in your teeth, but it is saltwater taffy. Like the cat's got out of the bag there. You knew what you were getting into there. I think it tasted good. I actually thought it, again, I'm with you guys. I don't know what a huckleberry is supposed to taste like. I'm especially not going to eat them now that I know they're poisonous. But it was sour enough that I thought the taste was good. It was tart. It almost had a little salt to it, I guess, hence salt water, but it tasted kind of, I don't know, salty to me. It's good. I like it. I'm a fan.
All right. 3 likes. Welcome visitor. Easily in the lead, but we do have chocolate-covered huckleberries.
Oh, shit.
Sound delicious.
Oh, shit.
Coming up.
Back to
Geiger.
Yeah.
It is segment time. I heard you have a new segment.
Well, you guys laid down the gauntlet with new segment after new segment. Just 2 in a row.
Which NBA star would you let go on to win titles?
All right. They all have Hummer H2s. You are frail as shit. They're going to have a fifth of bourbon and hit you with their goddamn truck. Would you turn them in?
Now, keep in mind, this star will try to resuscitate you with their asshole afterwards. So factor that into the equation.
So don't pick Vince Wilfork.
James Naismith hit you with his Model T.
Babe Ruth slowly runs into you as he runs out to grab a smoke between innings. There's the Babe, trampling a common citizen.
There goes the Babe. He's pulling down his pants and spreading his ass cheeks again. He's ready to go see that commoner.
Babe Ruth, common American hero, saves another man with the flatulence of his asshole.
Oh, he's calling his shot. He's pointing at the man he's about to goatsy.
Yes, and Babe is alerting the authorities to Michael Jordan's great-great-grandfather. And there he goes.
Wow, that's a real butterfly effect there. Babe Ruth ends the Bulls dynasty before it starts. Yes, Babe, Michael Jordan's grandfather was thrown into prison for no good reason for 41 years.
Get to the segment.
All right. With our terrible voices. Okay, so...
There's the gag. Taking his sweet-ass time.
The Geig. I've been called a lot of variations of my last name. The Geig has never been one of them, I gotta be honest. All right. So, guys, we've all gone on dates, right? At least like 1 or 2 in our lifetimes. Not all of them go well. We've all been on some bad dates. Holy shit. Sorry, I'm getting a rib cramp.
Your own body doesn't want you to get to the segment. It gives you cramps in the middle of it.
My body needs oxygen. Someone go see me.
The gag is falling apart.
He's about to start doing what he's supposed to do. Quick. Give him a cramp.
Fucking A. Okay. I'm getting a nut up here. So I'm gonna read you some stories.
That's
I found
what
some.
You gotta do.
I found some stories of bad dates online, various sources, internet articles, Reddit, etc., etc. I'm gonna read them to you, and very simply, all you have to do, the 2 of you, is put yourself in the shoes of the person telling the story and tell me if you would go on a second date. Okay.
Just yes, no.
Well, and elaborate, yeah, and then
Your
elaborate.
rating system is yes, no. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Novak?
Dying over there.
Oh, that hurts. Okay.
His body's mad that he didn't come up with some kind of rhyme. You know.
Jesus Christ. All right, fine.
Like date or hate.
What's a rib cramp?
What's a rib cramp? You have muscles in between your ribs and they're cramping. Maybe if you had some fucking muscle like me, you'd know, asshole.
Wait. What's
so confidently, like everybody gets them. You've got muscles in between your fucking rib cage.
Mine are jacked, okay?
Every single rib has a 6-pack, all right?
Between your ribs, they start to wrench and you can't breathe. What's your fucking question?
Fine, Chad. We'll put it in Tinder terms for you. You can swipe left if you want to go on another date and swipe right if you don't. How's that?
That's better
Swipe
than
left.
yes, no. So yeah,
Okay, fine. All right. Now I'm going to get to the fucking segment. All right, 1. This is, again, told from the perspective of someone on the date. I walked into a glass panel really hard and got hurt, and he laughed. Everyone else at the restaurant got up to check on me, and he just guffawed like an ass. I told him I hope he's finding what he's looking for elsewhere, and I bailed. So, Novak,
I want to be friends with this guy. He sounds great.
But I'm choosing whether I would go out with the guy again. If I'm the woman now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I will warn you, a lot of these are ladies.
Yeah. Here's the problem. Like,
yeah,
if that happened and we're on a date and the person runs into if you guys run into a glass door, we will laugh, right? Like,
it's hilarious.
Well within for fucking days. You will never forget about it.
But if on a first date, your first date did, you would just be like, "Oh shit, are you okay?" You know,
Yeah.
and then maybe you laugh about it later. Like, this is a
But how long later?
really
Like 10 seconds?
right. A really rough move. And if someone cackles in your face like that, you can't go out with them again. This is definitely a no/swiped away, which means no, which I don't know.
I think it's right, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, if one of you guys you guys still quote about the time that like we were
The slums.
We're like 18. I'm walking through the mall with our other friend, and there's like some like little convenience store thing and that we've called the slums for whatever reason, and I'm pointing at it like, hey, yeah, we call that place the slums. Walk headfirst into a giant support beam, like gong, arms and leg fly out cartoon style. So that was what, like almost 30 years ago or something, like 27 years ago. So walking into
we still say the slums multiple times a year.
You walk into a stop sign and you just go, the slums. Yeah. I mean, it's classic busting balls material. But I agree with Novak. Like, first, you got to go check on her. If she's okay, then you can proceed to bust the balls, right? Like, then that's fine. But, like, you at least got to check on her first. And then, so I'll swipe right also.
Okay. All right, second one. He invited me and a friend to play dodgeball with a group of folks I've never met. We were having an okay time. He was paying more attention to his friends, but that was fine because I had my friend to keep me occupied. We were hanging out in the parking lot before the first game was about to start, when out of nowhere, he grabbed a ball and threw it at my crotch as hard as he could. This motherfucker screamed, "Wham bam, right in the clam!" I immediately turned to my friend and asked her if she was ready to leave. I said goodbye to him and his friends. I got home to a bunch of texts about how immature I was behaving. So, Chad?
Wait, why did he throw a ball at her?
It's dodgeball.
It's funny. Oh. He had a good line lined up for it, too.
Wham bam, right in the clam that's a classic line.
That's a classic dodgeball line I've heard when I play dodgeball.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. Oh, Jesus. I mean, you're going to do that. You at least got to aim for the tits, right? So that, like, you know, you can see.
What rhymes
I don't know
tits?
why, actually. I don't know why you would
Holy
do that
shit,
either.
right in the tit.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy shit. Novak, I'm actually quite impressed how quickly you put that in.
I think if he hadn't had that like one-liner, you know, maybe you could have played it off as like an accident after or something like that. Like, oh, I meant to beam you in the face.
Drills you as hard as he can to the crotch of the ball. Oops, slipped out of my hand.
I got bad aim, you know, something like that. But once you throw the line in, that's no good. I am now wondering if we will get any swipe lefts tonight, but this is not going to be it. I will swipe right.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this has head the wrong direction. We can't defend these fucks.
He's got good aim. You could, you know, like maybe you like a guy with good aim and a strong arm.
Here's what I'd like some of our listeners to tell us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Many female listeners. Does it hurt? Would it hurt to have a dodgeball to the vagina? Like, I would assume that's not a painful. Like, it's not like getting hit in the nuts with a dodgeball, right? It's
it's fine. It's
I don't know. Maybe it also hurts.
It feels like fucking rose petals.
You know, like, is it worse than getting hit somewhere else? Like, is it?
I bet
how
you
much worse is it
worse
than getting hit in like the shoulder or something? Like, does it hurt a lot? Does it not hurt? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Right in.
Right in.
Tell us, ladies listening, tell us how your vagina hurts, okay? Tell us all about it. Tell us your vaginal pains.
If your clam got whammed or bammed, reach out to us at youtrydat@gmail.com.
Yeah, and you're right. Like, I don't think it's bad to they just hit them with the dodgeball, right, in the vagina. Mm-hmm. I think it's that you had the line. It was too far. This is a swipe right.
I think the thing that throws it over for me is it's one thing of like you're playing dodgeball and you hit her. There's an excuse for why you hit her. Like it might be over the top and it might be in her clam, but like you hit her, it's the game. Right. In the parking lot before the game starts is probably not the time to work on your throw. Anyway, moving on.
Right.
Holy Jesus, right in the Mons Venus. That's what he should have said.
Oops and oops, right in the fallopes. I love using the word fallopian tubes. All right. This
Great.
one is from the perspective of a dude. You can be a dude in this one. Finally. All right. This is a little long,
Waiting
so here we
my
go.
whole life to finally
I was
be a man.
18. I was 18 years old. A girl sent me a private message on MSN saying she got my details from my mate and wanted to go on a date with me. I asked my mate and he said she was hot. So after talking a bit, I agreed to a date. I had seen a photo and she was attractive. I turned up to the cafe for the date and was approached by some girl I've never seen with a baby. She then told me she was the girl. It looked nothing like her photo. She explained she thought I'd never go for someone who looked like her. She was right. And then she left her baby with me while she went to the toilet quickly. Alarm bells started to ring after 15 minutes. I asked a waitress to check on her, and to my surprise, the waitress came back and said no one was in there. I looked around the cafe, and she was gone. I hadn't noticed her leaving. I didn't have any of her contact details, and my smartphones were not a thing, so I didn't have internet access. I phoned my mate and got him to attempt to contact her on MSN. After telling him what happened, he was surprised and had no idea. Apparently, he also thought her pictures were the real her. Another 20 minutes went, and I was scared, so I asked the waitress for help. Thankfully, she was able to help and called the police. They showed up, and I explained what happened. I didn't know anything about this girl, so I couldn't really help them. They said if she contacted me to get her to contact them. I left and walked toward my car. I went past another cafe about 6 shops down, and there she was with a different guy. I went back to the police and got them to take her baby in while I watched through the window outside and waved when she looked up. Turns out I was the babysitter for her real date.
So her grand plan was like she was gonna bone down with this other guy in the cafe and then come back and pick up her baby.
It says here she planned to bone down. That's correct.
I'm gonna need at least one more date to return her child.
I mean, it is kind of ingenious to not only catfish the guy, but then dump her baby on him.
When she handed him the baby, did she say, "Wham bam, this came from my clam"?
Why exactly would there be a single reason I'd want to go out with this woman?
Do you want to go out with this girl? Maybe she's not hot. He even said she wasn't.
If she had at least been hot, maybe you could like, all right.
Fine, we can make it scale of 1 to 10 or something. All right. You did dump your baby on me and try to leave.
Yeah, she does have giant boobs that I want to squeeze, so maybe
I will.
You can.
I won't press charges if you let me press your boobs. Common sex move of pressing boobs. Novak, date?
You can use me and all my dignity to commit parental crimes if you want, as long as you've got D cups. That's the whole thing. This is beyond fucked. Like, this is just not. It's not just the terrible that they've used you. That's bad.
Yeah.
But what they've done to their child, right, is the worst of all. Like, they're just
met a new friend.
So I'm gonna say swipe right.
Okay, Chad.
Did she really think this was gonna work? Like who? Like the guy's just gonna sit there for 2.5 hours or whatever?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't abandon the baby in the restaurant.
But of course you're gonna call the cops, right? Like after a while, like
sure.
That's. I mean, I guess this woman probably not the brightest out there to begin with, so maybe she did think it was gonna work. Yeah, it sounds like there are no redeeming qualities to this woman whatsoever. She's unattractive, which is a problem. She has a kid, which is a problem. Nobody likes anyone with children. I know this from experience. And she goes to the bathroom right away at the start of a date. Also a problem. Go to the bathroom before you get to the date. So
yeah, that was the big problem.
She seems like a criminal with a terrible personality, and she would not put them on a glass, so...
I think my biggest problem, like to me, if this is me, right? I would have waited a couple hours, and then I would have
Couple
done the respectful
hours?
thing. Yeah, wait around for a couple hours and then do the respectful thing and raise that baby as my own. I think that's what any good man would do in that situation.
Right.
Right. He was trying to explain that his family was involved in the KKK, but not for racist reasons, end quote. This was after declining...
For what?
This was after declining all non-American dinner options, which I gave him the benefit of the doubt because he came from a tiny town in Texas, so I figured it was all just new to him. I left money for food that hadn't arrived yet and headed out. I don't know why he even asked me for a date. I'm pretty obviously Hispanic. So,
he had KKK tax write-off. You got that one? That KKK exemption?
You got to submit form KKK. You got your 401k, your KKK.
Look, I expense all my hoods and burning crosses, okay?
My
401 KKK. I don't know why I just didn't combine them. Look, maybe they were in it for like the social aspects. Like
I mean, she shouldn't be surprised if that she's Hispanic because he's not in it for racism. He made that very clear.
Just because he declined all non-American dinner options, which I don't know what that means.
He's not in it for the racism. That's just a nice benefit that comes along with it, right? It's like when fries come with the burger, right?
I'm not in it for racist reasons, and I'm also not down with this fucking tikka masala. Get the shit out of my face. She should probably be flattered because she's Hispanic, and he still wanted to go and do it. And she must have been very attractive, or nice, or cool, or willing to.
So, okay, I guess earlier on in the segment, I should have made a case for swiping left on Wham Bam in the Clam, because there's no way I'm swiping left on.
You never know.
Wham Bam in the Clan.
And I was like, Wham Clam, thank you, ma'am.
on Wasp Boss burned at the cross. I'm not in on that one. So swipe right.
Yeah, I don't think there'd not be a single thing I would have in common with this guy, except that we would both turn Michael Jordan in and stop him from winning titles. Beyond that,
but now you wouldn't do it for racist reasons. You'd turn him in because he ran over your fucking legs.
Freezing season, not for racist reasons. That's not why I did it.
So right, yeah. I mean, is there a swipe left in your bag here?
I am not swaying you guys either way. Mm-hmm. Here we go. This is a very simple one. He ordered just a plate of fries. He picked up a fry, took a few bites until he got to the end he was holding, then dropped the end piece on the ground every time for each fry. That's the
ground or the plate?
It says the ground specifically. Kind of a weird quirk, but maybe he's like cool otherwise.
Oh, yeah, the ground is no good. Like the plate, you could say maybe he doesn't like the end
the
of
plate is okay, but the ground, that's no bueno, bro.
Because you're like, well, maybe there's something about the end of the fry that's too, like, you don't like the crisp part. Whatever. It's weird, but you could look by it.
Yeah.
And you could convince me of a swipe left because I'm desperately wanting to do one.
I just want to swipe left on someone. I just want human connection.
But he's just creating like work for whoever has to clean it up later. It's just so it makes no sense at all. I'm gonna say swipe right.
Maybe he was with his pet dog or something, and he's just giving the scraps to the dog, like he's giving the ends of the French fries to his dog, or they're in a rat-infested restaurant, maybe.
Feeding the rats at the restaurant he took me to. Other than that, swell dude.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this one's actually like, was it going to be, because he ordered a plate of fries and nothing else? Like, all right, fine. Like, that's fucking lame or whatever, but like fries are good. But
7 options in, he only ate soup. Sorry. No more date.
And then you're like, oh, but then he only ate like 90% of the fry and not like the all right, okay, that's but then the dropping it on the ground is pretty unacceptable when you're making work for others. Although maybe you get that extra seasoning, that like ground seasoning on those little bits, scoop them up, eat them yourself later. That could be
yes,
that could be nice.
Otherwise known as dirt.
Ground seasoning. Dirt.
New McCormick's dirt.
Swipe right.
Okay.
You just pounded
you got
away
another
your
cramp on your the rib on your
It's on
other
the
side.
other side now. Yeah. Oh fuck. I am falling apart. Okay, ready? Here we go.
Whib bib cramps in your rib. What the fuck?
Good one. All right. I ran into a guy from high school years after graduation, and he invited me to meet up with him and some of our other friends who I lost contact with. Well, when I got to the restaurant, there was nobody else there, just him. Yep, I was ambushed into an unwanted date. To make it worse, he had told the waitstaff we were on a date and to take their time. 2 hours later, I was finally able to leave. He walked me to my car, even though I asked him not to, and when I went to get in, he blocked me and leaned in for a kiss, which was not down for at all. It was a dark parking lot. There was nobody around. Super sketchy. Well, something at dinner did not agree with him. I turned my head to the side and went for a friendly hug instead of his attempted kiss, and his bowels unloaded. It was the loudest and gnarliest fart I have ever heard. It happened the second the hug commenced, and he didn't let go until the fart was done. Then he tried to kiss me again. I was deflected into another awkward hug, and he farted again. All in all,
is she squeezing these farts out of him? Like, what's happening?
All in all, it was at least
That's
45.
assault, brother. What's going on here?
It was at least 45 seconds of combined ass blast. In the end, he made eye contact and said, "Let's do this again." Hard pass. So maybe he wanted to be nurtured all the way through his rancid fart. Nothing wrong with that, guys.
Is this me?
Who's up here?
I think it is Chad. Yeah, Chad, because you just put the dirt on your fries. It's
That's
right.
right. I just put dirt on my face.
Ground seasoning.
ground seasoning. Sorry, not dirt.
Yeah. Oh man.
All natural ground seasoning.
I mean, it's another one where like a lot of the stuff you can kind of like excuse of like, all right, maybe this guy doesn't go on a lot of dates and he's being like kind of over eager with like telling the wait staff and like, that sort of thing. Like that's maybe you can kind of excuse that stuff, but like you put it all the pieces together is like this guy has serial killer like written on, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's how the puzzle pieces fit. But then you went with like, oh, he's letting out huge farts. And I'm like, oh, no, this guy's not a serial killer. He's just like a basement dwelling neckbeard incel. That's what this guy is. He's like, he doesn't have any social skills. He like doesn't have any control over his bodily functions. Which, sounds like a pretty cool dude. Maybe I'd swipe left personally, but I don't think she should. She should swipe right.
Novak?
Swipe left on this man.
Novak?
Swipe left.
Hugged her till his fart was done, Novak.
Yeah.
Just releasing all that oxygen that he breathed in over the course of the meal.
Maybe he
Just
did
an
farted yeah. This guy farted his way through his sexual harassment. I'm going to have to say swipe right.
Okay. All right, 2 more. I was on a 3rd date with this girl one night. So this guy's already gone on another date. So it must be going well, right?
Swipe right.
We had a really great time. She was quite an interesting girl. She had a couple of rare illnesses, one of them being epilepsy. She parked in a big dark parking lot, so at the end of the date, I decided to walk her back to her car. We had to walk past my truck on the way to her car, and I decided to grab my flashlight to help her feel safe, and as it was only a few steps out of the way. You know how some flashlights have 3 different functions, like one is bright, one is dim, and one is an emergency strobe? Yeah, I click the flashlight on, guess which function? Strobe. She instantly groans, and I see her knees start to buckle. I catch her as she falls to the ground and gently lower her head to the asphalt. Then I had to watch her have a full-blown epileptic seizure for probably 2 minutes. I will never be able to forget this. Fortunately, we were able to laugh about it the next day. So I included this
had
one
to watch her.
Well, I mean, okay. I could have just left her, but I didn't because I'm a gentleman. But this, at least it was an honest mistake. They did laugh about the next day. He was trying to be a gentleman. He just kind of.
It seems extremely seizure prone.
Well, like flashing lights can cause.
Control your fucking seizures, bitch.
Like flashlight comes on. Where was the flashlight pointed? It was on for
I don't know, inner eyeball. Who knows?
I think if it's like dark outside, just it doesn't matter where it's pointed because now the only light is the flashing, probably.
Yeah.
So I'm from the point of view of who now?
The guy.
Yeah, she didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
She had a seizure, right?
I mean, she did something wrong by not being medical perfection. Yes, that was the wrong thing that she did.
Ooh, okay. Interesting take. All right. Novak, what do I want to hear right now? Give it to me.
You want me to swipe a certain way? Is that what you're saying?
I want you to swipe as left as you can.
And epilepsy is super hot. Gets me horny, so swipe left.
Yeah! Chad, do we have a consensus?
No, I mean, she seems like a nice girl, right? Like, this stuff's not her fault. Like, I feel bad for people with epilepsy, and, like, the guy just needs to be, like, a little bit more considerate. I would understand, actually, if she swiped right on him, but for her, swipe left. Our first swipe left. Good girl.
All right. One more. Okay. I went on a date with a dude in January. First thing he said was, "Nice, you weren't lying in your pictures." We chatted for about an hour that seemed to last forever. I'll give you the main points. He said he felt it was pointless to be friends with women, that unless a woman added value to his life professionally or sexually, there was no reason to talk to us. I asked, do you not feel like a woman have just intrinsic value by simply being fellow human beings on this planet? He got very mad. He believes the Earth is an apple shape, with energy flowing from the apple's anus, his words, up to the stem and flowing back down and out through the anus again. At one point, he looked up at the night sky and said, "Isn't it cool how you can see the reflection of the Earth in the dome?" I said, "What?" And he went on to explain that there is no moon. We aren't seeing shadows on the moon either. The moon is just the reflection of the Earth, and the shadows are the reflections of the continents. He's into power and control, and for sure thinks he's smarter than everyone else. Even him giving me directions to where we met up was a test. It was kind of confusing and complicated, and he commented that I was the first person to get it right without needing to call him for help when I showed up. I got major future cult leader vibes from him. So,
wow.
Earth is an apple shape with an anus in it.
A lot of anus talk on this week's episode.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
What do we breathe? Oxygen. How did it get to Earth? Through the apple's anus.
What holds the oxygen into the atmosphere? The Earth's dome. Moon's fake. Chad, what do you think about this guy? He sounds, I don't know, kind of intriguing.
I want to know more details about this test of like the directions test. What was it like? Just way too many turns, or was it like you have to solve a math problem? You know what I mean? Like turn on the blank road, and then it's like a whole algebraic function to try to like solve for X or something. Is it like that? Like that part I'm actually curious about. So I kind of want to go on a date with this guy just to see if I can pass the test. Like how smart am I? But a second date, definitely not happening with this fucking chode. Swipe left.
Well, what if he just has the answers that no one else has? Like he could open your eyes to a lot of different things.
That's true.
Like he could show you all the different ways the KKK is beneficial beyond racism. Novak, you like this guy?
Yes, the original Big Apple, the Earth. Right? It ended up being New York, but the original name. Sometimes these crazy guys. Charles Manson had a whole bunch of ladies all over him.
Yeah.
Right? So this guy.
Yeah. He did.
So they might like this guy in a crazy kind of way. But I would not like him. He sounds like a complete piece of shit.
You're more of a Charles Manson guy, actually. You like Manson, don't you?
Yeah.
So I'm going to swipe right. We did get a single swipe left in there, though. So.
All right. Well, that was the new segment. You're welcome.
Okay, we've got the last snack: chocolate-covered huckleberries. Wild. Taste the wilderness. And these are mine are mostly stuck together. I don't know about yours.
Mine too.
Yeah, mine were too. I had to break them all apart.
They kind of are. Looks like a larger raisinette.
Ooh, these are tart.
Box says maybe poisonous. It says chocolate-covered huckleberries are the ultimate indulgence of pure wild huckleberries, surrounded in rich chocolate, naturally delicious. Is there a company on this? Did I see that?
Huckleberry Haven. It's right underneath
Okay.
the slogan.
Do you guys like chocolate covered cherries, chocolate covered raisins, all those kinds of things?
It's all right.
I tend to like chocolate-covered fruit. I do like raisinets quite a bit.
Everyone loves chocolate covered bananas, right? I don't think I've ever had one.
Oh, I love them.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Okay, so these are pretty tasty, I think. I do like the combination of the huckleberry flavor, the tartness of it with the chocolate. I don't think I could eat a ton of them like I could raisinets. Is like that tartness that gets to you after a while. But I do think they're pretty tasty to have a handful of them. I'm going to give them a low level like that. So this could be close down the stretch here. Let's see how it goes. Geiger, what do you think?
The chocolate has kind of bloomed on mine a little bit, but they're still pretty good. I think I like huckleberries. They're kind of tart. Those are nice. I guess I never stopped to think if I was allergic to them, like I am a lot of berries, but too late now. So the chocolate actually is not bad either. I like these a fair amount. I can't decide if I had to choose between this and the saltwater taffy, so I'll sit on that for now because I won't necessarily have to decide yet, but we'll see what Chad says.
Okay, we got a couple of likes. The saltwater taffy had 3 likes. We've got 2 right now, so a like's gonna have us with a tough decision to make. But anything less than that, and the taffy's gonna win. What do you think, Chad?
Well, Novak, which would you pick between the taffy and this chocolate covered one?
If I had to,
Mm-hmm.
I might take the taffy, but I'm not making that official.
Okay,
yet.
Geiger, if you had to, what would you?
I am currently leaning toward chocolate covered, but again, it's not official.
No,
Didn't write it down yet.
not official.
Okay,
Chad, you're gonna.
Well,
love
the good thing
these
is you don't have to choose.
Oh,
I don't. I don't. These are not working for me. I think the chocolate maybe a little too dark for me or something. I don't know. I ate like 3 or 4, and I'm just kind of done with them. They're okay. I think maybe I don't know. Maybe they're just not for me. Maybe a different chocolate. I'd like them better. These are just an indifferent to that for me.
Okay, saltwater taffy huckleberry flavor takes the day by a nose there with a welcome visitor. Geiger, where can the listeners contact us?
I will repeat. We want to know what it's like to get bammed in the clam. So tell us if the clam is worse than like the face or the neck or the sternum or the butthole. Like, where do you not want a dodgeball whammed or bammed? The least, right? What up with
Ladies, let us
clam?
know where to throw dodgeballs at you.
Mm-hmm.
If you have ever been in the KKK for all of the magnanimous, wonderful reasons that exist, beyond that nagging little racism problem.
Free ghost costume.
Always with the racism. That's not what we're all about. Stop talking about the racism.
Divert your attention away from racism.
We also like the same letter 3 times in a row, okay? That's something too.
And if you have if you, like Novak, knew for a long time you could breathe out your ass, you can let us know how smart you were at youtrydat@gmail.com. We are on Instagram, we are on YouTube, we are on Facebook, we are on Twitter. We're all over the place. Let us know what you think of our snacks. Ask a question for that mailbag that's nary been touched. Tell us what you would have rated our snacks.
I like the mailbag for reasons that don't have to do with mail from listeners.
I don't know why he went on a date with me, but because it was clear I was a mail lady. Anyway, let us know about that stuff. Rate our podcast. Tell your friends and family if you like it. And as always, thanks for listening.
I know you guys know about this date. I don't think I've ever talked about it here, but what I consider the worst date I was on was with a person we worked with back at the restaurant we all had worked at once.
Yes.
And the date was that we went to, she said, will you come with me to Petco? And I said, sure.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. That sounds good. It's not all about the pets, I know. So I'm gonna see what it's going.
I like Petco for a lot of non-pet reasons. The co part.
So it turns out she had worked there, and we spent like an hour walking around talking to her old coworkers. And then like we were supposed to do something after that, and I weaseled my way out of it, and then like proceeded to never want to go out again. But it was very strange. You guys have like a memory of something that was just like a date you actually went on, right? That was just god awful. Does anything stick out?
I mean, I don't know if I mentioned on here before, but there was the one date I went on where I drove like an hour south to where she was. We had met online. And then I thought the date was like going okay. It seemed fine. It was just like we went out for some sushi, had a good conversation. And then afterwards, as we're walking to the car, she's like, all right, so normally I give guys 3 dates. I don't know if that's going to happen this time. She's like, maybe I'll give you, a second date. And I was like, oh, okay.
Why would she frame it that way? What a
fucking
shithead.
worst. Oh my god.
She's like gives me a hug, and then I'm like, all right. I'm like, I'm never seeing you again. I guess. I mean, you didn't like me. That's fine. But
I give almost every guy 3 dates. I'm giving you maybe a second.
Don't fuck it up. See you at 8.
She had also told me during the date that her last boyfriend and her used to they didn't get intimate. They would just lay in bed and stare in each other's eyes for hours, like all night long, is how she phrased it. And I'm like, that sounds fucking awful. I don't even like to look in people's eyes for like 30 seconds. Like, I don't know.
I'm into laying in bed and staring at you for other reasons, if you know what I
mean. I mean, as long as you do, I'll lay in bed with you as long as you don't mind me letting a juicy fart rip every time you hug me. So.
I've had some bad day. I mean, Novak was present for part of my problem so Novak and I went on a double date with 2 ladies, from Marquette, and I think yours was fine, right? Innocuous enough.
Yeah.
She was quiet, but she was nice. Mine was insane.
She's like, I usually stay with guys for about a year. I'll give you a week tops. Okay, I'll take it.
Okay, well, cool. I appreciate your time.
So I'll see you tomorrow.
So I had gone on a second date with this girl, and she she just wanted to she didn't want to go anywhere. She's like, let's just rent a movie. So she came to my apartment. We put in a movie. She sat there in the bed, not talking. Get really upset. I offered her a drink, anything, tried to talk to her. She's just laying there with her hoodie pulled over her face. I'm like, this is fucking bizarre. So I took her home. She's like, well, am I going to see you again? I'm like, you want to? You seem like you didn't even want to interact with me. So I get back to my apartment. She proceeds to call me and inform me. She's like, well, I have something to tell you.
The earth is a dome.
Yeah, the earth has an anus. She's like, I told you I was 24. I'm actually 26. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Who cares, right? And she's like, I have something else to tell you. I'm like, what? And she's like, I said I only smoked in the club, but I smoke all the time. I'm like, not great, but again, who cares? I have one more thing to tell you. I'm like, God damn it, what? She goes, I have a boyfriend. I'm like, huh? And she goes, he's 20 years old. She goes, he's 20 years older than me. And for some reason,
buried the lead there. What the
She goes, he's 20 years older than me. For some reason, I remember yelling, he's 46? Really loud. Like, old bitch, which in retrospect, it's, trust me, I'm getting rib cramps over here.
Right.
He had so many muscles between his ribs, that guy.
So she's like, do you still want to hang out with me? You seem like such a good guy. I'm like, yeah, I am. You're not. We're not hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
So then she would proceed to call me.
My goodness is not the problem.
Right. That is not a dispute, milady.
Wait, there's something else. The shadows on the moon, that's my boyfriend.
Oh, remember when I told you I only fart on occasion? I actually fart every time you hold me. So then she proceeded to like call me the next day and ask her if I could give her a ride to work. And I'm like, no. And then she called me again to see if I'd give her another ride. And I go, we are not friends. So like everything was fine. Well, make the rest of this short. The other girl that Novak ended up going out with, moved into my building like, I don't know, 4 months later. And she's like, oh, you should come over. And, she was really nice. She's, oh, stop by. We'll talk. I'm like, okay, cool. So I go over there and this other girl is there and proceeds to whip her phone at me and yell, put your number in there. And I'm like, no. And I left. And that was the end of that. So
Didn't you see her like
number in there?
Yeah.
a few months later and she was in a cast on crutches. She's like, I have something to tell you. Michael Jordan hit me with his car and I did nothing. You were not a Bulls fan. You were like, fuck.
Fuck.
That's the last straw.
Arrested.
Oh,
Yeah.
Here comes that crazy lady. She's whipping her phone at Gaga again. She's called her shot.
It definitely spawned a lot for the next couple of months of a lot of, I have something to tell you, preceded by something insane. Everyone.
I mean, it was the personification of that, like, I have something to tell you. The directions were a quiz, and there's something else. The Earth is an apple, and there's something else. Energy anus, and whatever the fuck, Like,
Energy anus.
By the way, I've got something else to inform you about. Here's a tip. Energy anus. Excuse me?
2 words. Energy and anus.
Oh, yeah? There's one more thing. 3 letters. K, K, and K. What?
That's just one letter now, let's be clear.
Why are you leaving? It's not about the racism. Everyone's about the fucking racism. That's not why we're here.
And she then proceeded to walk into a plate glass window, and I laughed at her for 15 minutes. You stupid asshole.
The slums.
The slums. All right. That'll do it for this time. We'll be back next time. We're trying out 3 brand new songs.
Deuces.
Yep.
The slums.
And you, music lover, you're next.
Drunk piano player. You're so drunk you can't hit nothing. In fact, you're probably seeing double.
I have 2 guns, one for each of you.